Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Spokane Steve here with Strat-O-Matic Baseball 1966 full season replay. 535 game number today. We're right about at the 1/3 mark, at least for most teams. Boston exactly at that mark, 54 games played. Baltimore 55. This is the second of a 3-game series. The Red Sox won the opener. And righty Earl Wilson will take on lefty Steve Barber today. Let's take a look at the chat and say hi to everybody. We've got Frank here with his pre-play, in which Baltimore edged Boston 6-5. There's also Cosmo. Hello to Cosmo. Franklin's here, of course. Franklin, the diehard Oriole fan. I would expect no less. We've got Blaine here. Hello, Blaine. Hi to Kelly. Hello to Kenyon Gray. And everyone else who's here. After a day off, had a good visit yesterday with my cousin. May go over this evening, may not, it depends. Kind of tired today. I know they're going to be pretty busy tomorrow, at least for the early part of the day. Hello there, Bob. How are you? Well, I've got my coffee, and I should have mentioned at the start of the show that we're moving on to June the 12th on the calendar. This is the first day on the schedule. So let's take a look at the standings. The Orioles at 38-17, of course, still in first place. 3 games ahead of the Twins. 7 games ahead of the Cleveland Indians. The Red Sox find themselves in 9th place, 14.5 games back. Hello, Bill. Yes, and rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg. Spokane boy, of course. Most of you probably know that. Along with Mark Rippon, probably the 2 most famous Spokane born and raised sports figures. I was actually over at my aunt's when my friend Eric texted me the news about Sandberg. Obviously a longtime favorite of mine. I never met him. My mom and my older sister knew him. They lived on the same street for a short period of time. That was back in the high school, Sandberg's high school days. North Central High School, which of course the baseball field there with a plaque commemorating it as Ryan Sandberg Field, which it has been for many years now. Alrighty, let's see what we got today. I'm a little slow, so bear with me. We'll ease into it. Let's take a look at the replay numbers for our starting pitchers, first of all. Earl Wilson, who's not long for Boston. He'll be traded to Detroit in just a few days. So far, 5-3 with a 3.81, 13 starts, 3 complete games, 99 and a third innings of work, which would place him among the league leaders in innings pitched. Steve Barber having a magnificent season, 6-3, 2.33 earned run average, 10 starts, 3 of them complete games. He's also worked twice out of the bullpen. And in 73 and a third innings, Barber has surrendered just 56 hits. He does give up a few walks, 36, but he's also struck out 62. Oh, Rippon was born in Calgary. I have a friend in Calgary, Bill. I did not know that. But he was from Spokane, right? I mean, he's associated with Spokane. Forgive my ignorance. As you guys, most of you guys know, I know very little about sports outside of baseball. So I guess that means Sandberg stands alone in Spokane athletics lore. He certainly does in my mind. No question about that. The Hall of Fame second baseman. What was it? 9 Gold Gloves, I think. That's one the Phillies regret, I'm sure. One trade, that is. Here's the Red Sox lineup. Billy Herman insists on playing Joe Foy at shortstop, and that's where he'll be leading off. Jim Gosker is in center. Carl Yastrzemski in left field. Tony Conigliaro in right field in the cleanup spot. George Scott at first base. George Thomas will get the start at third base today, with George Smith at second. Mike Ryan will do the catching and hit 8th, and Wilson, a good hitting pitcher, in the 9 spot. So we're just about ready to get underway. Let's give you the umpires for today's game. It was Emmett Ashford behind the plate, Johnny Stevens at first base, Bob Stewart at second, and Bill Haller down at third. Bill predicting a subpar outing for Steve Barber. We'll see how it goes. Barber ready to go to work. Here's Joe Foy to start things off. Foy hitting .272 on the year, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs, and here we go. The left-hander winds and deals. 2-8 lefty, and that's lined to short. Looks like that's going to get into center field for a base hit, and it does. Leadoff single for Foy. Foy not a threat to steal. We can look at the battery anyway. Barber a -1 hold. Echeverria a 0 arm. And the batter is Jim Gosker. Gosker hitting just .195, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. All 3 of the home runs coming fairly recently. Barber from the stretch. Lefty-lefty matchup is a 3-6 fly ball to center field, playable for Russ Snyder, who makes the catch. And here's Carl Yastrzemski. Didn't work out as a manager, no. Not for everybody. Good question, Bob. I'll answer that at the half inning. Here's Yastrzemski leading the club in batting at .294, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs. Barber's pitch from the stretch is a 4-9 left-handed. Grounder to short X, that should be 2. That's Aparicio, the Gold Glover, 118. Here's the play on a 1. Diving stop by Aparicio, flips from the glove into Johnson's glove, turns and fires to Powell. Oh my goodness, what a thing of beauty. A 6-4-3 double play. That's going to go down as a web jam for Aparicio. A play only a 1 shortstop could make, and that'll end the inning. So no runs a hit, nobody left for the Sox, and after a half, it's Boston 0, Baltimore coming to bat. And now to Bob's question. If I'm throwing... Okay, let's say Aparicio is on first base. Snyder hits an open single, and I send Aparicio. If they throw for him, the way I play it is, if the 20D lands within the batters or the runner advancing safe range, he advances to second. So in this case, anything 1 to 15, Snyder would take second on the throw. 16 to 20, he would hold it first. That's a house rule. Earlier in this replay, I was trying to do the super advanced cutoff method, and I found it far too difficult to do when you're playing against yourself. Hot dogs, hot dogs. Okay, Baltimore order. Luis Aparicio leads off at shortstop. Russ Snyder is in center. Frank Robinson in the customary 3 spot in right field, followed by Brooks Robinson at third base. Boog Powell at first base. Kurt Blefary in left field. Davy Johnson at second base. Andy Etchebarren the catcher, and what has become the steadiest, most consistent lineup in either league. Very rarely changes, and if so, not very much. Barber, of course, bats ninth. And here's Earl Wilson. Oh, I see what you mean now, Bill. Well, that would certainly explain why a pitcher with those kind of numbers only worked 133 innings, right? In fact, I was looking at that the other day. Actually, it was the usage page in the stats book there. Thinking, man, he's been way overused. And then I looked at his card. So yeah, he's got to go down at some point. Yeah, and right, world's worst, and welcome in, by the way. And there are things you can do to make it a little easier on yourself, and that's just one example. Somebody gave me that idea, by the way. A lot of these ideas come from you guys, and I do appreciate it. Yeah, I've had a lot of help with this project. And you need it. It's a daunting project. Okay, here's Aparicio to start off the bottom of the first. He's hitting .260, 2 home runs, 26 RBIs. Wilson into the windup. Pitches a 3-9 right-handed. It's a routine grounder to second. Smith will take it. Flips it over to George Scott, 1 down. Here's Snyder now, the center fielder, batting .202 on the year. Still looking for his first home run. Wilson's pitch on a 3-8 righty pops him up on the right side. Scott making the catch, and 2 quick outs for Wilson. That'll bring up Triple Crown challenger, of course, real-life Triple Crown winner in 1966. That would be, of course, Frank Robinson, batting .308. 17 home runs now, 45 RBIs. Wilson into the windup, 5'10 right-handers, a grounder to short. Foy comes in on it, gloves it, and throws him out. 1-2-3 inning for Earl Wilson, and we're scoreless after an inning. Heat wave is back in Spokane, folks. 95 at game time. But as they like to say, but it's a dry heat. Franklin giving us the hot dog tips. That's always helpful. Nice to have an inside man when it comes time to order food in a strange town, right? Tony Conigliaro will lead off the second. Tony hitting .238, 8 home runs, 30 RBIs, which is second on the team. Barber into the windup. 3-5 left-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Going back is Blefary at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Home run Conigliaro. So on a 3-5 left-handed, homer to 10, triple 11 to 20. He rolls the 1. And for Tony C., his 9th home run of the season makes it 1-0 Boston. And here's the team RBI leader now, George Scott, 33 RBIs, batting .247 with a dozen home runs. Barber's pitch to Scott. 3-6 left-handed. He bangs that up the middle and into center field for a base hit. A single for Scott. Not being held, no threat to run. And here's the third baseman today, George Thomas. Thomas hitting just .213 in limited duty. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. Barber working from the stretch now. It's a 4-6 righty. Grounder to short. That's Aparicio. Shovels it to Johnson. On to Powell. Double play. And the second 6-4-3 double play in as many innings, and with 2 down and nobody on, George Smith will be the hitter. Smith at .250, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Barber comes in there with a 4-5 righty, a hard smash to third. Brooks Robinson over to Powell, that'll do it. Red Sox settle for a run on the Canigliaro home run. Nobody left on. And as we go to the bottom of the second, 1-0. I was wondering the same thing, Frank. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Ben. My guess would be, yeah, I was going to say it would work-related in some manner. But we do miss him. We got a heat advisory today and tomorrow here in Spokane. I'll tell you one thing, though. My cousin from Sarasota is certainly happy to be here. He went for a run yesterday evening. It was probably still in the 80s. But compared to where he lives, this is a treat for him. Okay. Wilson ready to go to work in the bottom of the second. Brooks Robinson will start it off. He's hitting .274 with 6 home runs, 39 driven in. Here's the pitch. It's a 5-4 right-handed. Hard smash to third. Tough chance for Thomas, who's a .431 there. Here's the play on an 18. He makes the stop, throws him out. Nice play, Thomas. So Robinson grounds out to his opposite number, and here is Boog Powell. Powell, the leading hitter on the club at .337, 14 home runs and 36 runs batted in. Wilson gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Boog. It's a 6-6 lefty. He lifts it to left field. Yastrzemski drifts over and makes the catch. That'll bring up Blefary with 2 down. Kurt Blefary batting .290, 12 home runs, 36 RBIs. Wilson's pitch to Blefary is a 1-7 righty. Called strike 3. Right in between a couple of walks there. He fans him. Blefary called out on strikes by Emmett Ashford, and that'll retire the side. 1-2-3 go the Orioles in the bottom of the second. And it's still 1-0 Red Sox. Here's Barber once again. It'll be Ryan, Wilson, and Foy. Mike Ryan hitting just .167, no homers, 6 RBIs. Ryan paid more for his glove than his bat, let's just say. Here's the pitch from Barber. 4-6 right-handed, a grounder to short. It's Aparicio over to Powell. So Aparicio getting a lot of work down there so far at shortstop. And here's Wilson, a 7-hitting righty with end power. On a 3-6, grounder down to third. It's Brooks Robinson. Scoops it up, throws him out, and 2 quick outs here in the third. That'll bring up Foy, who singled to lead off the game. Barber into the windup. Pitch to Foy's a 5-6 right-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That'll do it for the Red Sox in the third. First strikeout for Barber. We go to the bottom of the third. The score remains the same. Yeah, imagine that. I'll tell you what. End of July, it's pretty much hot everywhere, isn't it? Except maybe San Francisco. For some reason, I'm picturing the cover of the Stevie Wonder album, Hotter Than July. That pretty much says it all. And here's the bottom third of the order. Johnson, Etchebarren, and Barber. Davy Johnson at .259 on the year, 3 home runs, 30 RBIs. Barber into the windup. 4-8 right-handed, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Second K for Barber now, and that brings up, whoops, hang on, wrong pitcher. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. That was the 4-8, right? So that's actually going to be a walk to Johnson. .48 righty, that'll be a leadoff walk to Davy Johnson. Wilson with a poor hold, +4. Ryan a 0. So Johnson, not a star stealer, but he'd be 17 not held. However, his chances of being automatically out are almost as good as his chances of getting the lead. So Etchebarren will swing away. Wilson from the stretch. That's going to be a 4-10 right-handed. High pop fly to shallow left. Yastrzemski coming in, waiting on it now, and puts it away. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, caught it. Appreciate the assist. The red flags are down. Yes, sir. Larry, welcome, Larry. Here is Barber. He's an A bunter. Runner on first, 1 down. Boston will pull it in. He's going to square to bunt as a B. That'll be an 8B, and he puts down a successful sacrifice bunt, moving Dave Johnson into scoring position with 2 down. And it will be up to Aparicio. Been stellar in the field so far, 0 for 1 at the plate. Pitch from Wilson is a 4-2 right-handed. A grounder to short. It's Foy. Throws him out. And that'll do it for the third inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left. After 3 complete, 1-0 Red Sox. Among other things, I've been trying to find a cheap, smaller coffee table for the living room. One I have is okay, it's just too big and heavy. Hard to move, especially by yourself. It's not that it's that heavy to lift, but it's awkward. It's hard on my back. Here's Barber now. He's ready to pitch the 4th. Jim Gosker, then the heart of the order. Interestingly, Gosker starting against the left-hander. Flew out to center in the first. Here's the pitch to Barber. 4-9 left-handed, grounder shortstop X. That's going to be the Gold Glover Aparicio, 118. Aparicio into the hole. It's the E range. It's a 10 on an 18, and he makes the fine stop, long throw across in time. Fine play by Aparicio. With his 4th assist already. Here's Yaz now, 0 for 1. Barber's pitch. 4-6 left-handed. He lifts it the other way to left field where Bluffery is patrolling. Bluffery barely has to move, and he catches that one for out number 2. Here's Canigliaro now, his home run, the only run in the game so far. Barber into the windup. 4-4 right-handed, high pop fly to center. Snyder coming in, waiting, and makes the grab to retire the side. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox in the 4th. Truer words were never spoken, Frank. In fact, let's look at the team stats here for a moment. The Red Sox come into the game as a team hitting .243 with 53 home runs, 54 now. Baltimore .263 with 65 home runs. And with the better pitcher on the mound, the edge would appear to go clearly to Baltimore in this game. However, the Red Sox right now up 1-0. Very early still. Schneider and the Robinsons coming up here in the bottom of the inning. Russ Snyder 0 for 1. Wilson into the windup. 4-5 left-handed. That is going to be a base hit to right, 1-15. It could go for a double, and it will. That's going to be a leadoff double for Russ Snyder, and that's the first Baltimore hit of the afternoon. So on a 4-5 left-handed, homer to 15, Snyder a week. The roll is 17. He's got himself a double. Snyder in scoring position, the heart of the order coming up. Here's Frank Robinson now. Looking at Larry, I've been looking at Craigslist and actually finding more matches on Facebook Marketplace, believe it or not. I've got a couple of feelers out right now, just waiting for a response. There's also one that would fit the bill on that giant website that we all know and love. It's only $39.99. That's not bad. Assembly required, of course. Not crazy about that, but it looks like it's a pretty easy assembly. Okay, Schneider takes his lead. Wilson first to Robinson on a 4-11 right-hander. He bangs that one into right for a base hit. Snyder rounding. He's a 15. Canigliaro, a 0 arm with nobody out. That's a tough one. I'm going to roll for it. 1-3, they're going to send him. They'll hold him up. Had they sent him, that would have been a tough call for Boston as well. Do you throw for him? Or cut it off and hold the speedy Frank Robinson to first? Probably should have sent him. Most likely, Boston would have cut that off. But 2 ducks on the pond with Robinson and Powell coming up. Frank Robinson at first, not a threat to steal. He might be, actually. 17, they're going to have to... He's the go-ahead run. Okay, they got to hold him. So he's held at 15. And the batter is Brooks Robinson. From the stretch. 6'10 right-handed. Grounder to short X. That's going to be a tough play for Foy, a 588. Here's the play. So most likely get a run in. And he makes the play. But the run does score. Foy charging it. His only play is to first. And the run scores with Frank Robinson taking second. That ties the game. kind of happy about that one. That kind of takes me off the hook for not sending Snyder. Okay, here's Powell with one out. Powell 0 for 1. Tie game now. Wilson gets the sign. The pitch to the Boog is a 2-7 right-handed. Grounder to second base C. Single to 2. And that will be a grounder to second. Smith making the play and Frank Robinson moving to third on the play. Two down, it'll be up to Kurt Blefary. Blefary struck out in the second. Wilson checks the runner. Comes to the plate 1-6 right-handed, and he loses him ball 4. 2 out walk to Blefary. No threat to run. And it'll be up to Davy Johnson. Davy walked in the third. Runners take their lead. Wilson gets the sign from the stretch. 6-6 right-handed. Fly to center. That's playable for Gosker, and that's going to wrap up the fourth. Orioles settle for a run on 2 hits and leave a pair, and after 4 complete, it's a 1-1 tie. Yeah, Larry, I was surprised. That was suggested to me, and from the looks of things, it looks like Facebook Marketplace has pretty much replaced Craigslist. Really not much on Craigslist these days. Looks to be a dying format. We move along to the 5th inning in this one. Of course, I took yesterday off. Hope everyone had a great weekend. George Scott will lead off the 5th. He's singled his first time up. Barber gets the sign from Echeverria now. Here's the pitch. That's a 2-9 left-handed. Called strike 3. Second K for Barber. That'll bring up George Thomas. Barber gets the sign. The windup and the pitch is a 4-12 right-handed, and it's just inside ball 4. A walk to Thomas. Pretty good speed, but no threat to steal. And here's the second baseman, George Smith. Smith 0 for 1. Barber gets the sign. Now from the stretch, comes in with a 6-10 right-hander. It's a fly to center field X. Tough chance for Snyder. Snyder going back. 3-6. Here's the roll on a 2. He's not going to get to that. That's going to roll to the wall for extra bases. That'll be a double 2 stars. Thomas stopping at third. And the Red Sox have something going here in the 5th inning. Second and third, 1 down. Unfortunately for Boston, Mike Ryan due up, followed by the pitcher. Baltimore will bring the infield in for Ryan. Understood, Larry. 10-4 on that. Infield in for Ryan. Barber, the pitch. It's a 6-8, and he walks him to load him up. The 2 walks in the inning. We talked about that before the game started. The one bugaboo for Barber this year, the base on balls. And with the bases loaded and 1 out, a pretty good hitting pitcher in Earl Wilson stepping to the plate. Baltimore will play it at double play depth. Barber, the full windup on a 3-7 right-handed. A grounder to short. Aparicio has it to Johnson for 1. To Powell, double play. Third double play for the Orioles. All 3 started by Luis Aparicio. And the Red Sox waste a bases-loaded 1-out chance here in the 5th. That could come back to haunt you. Earl Wilson taking the mound. Both starters rated 7 for endurance today. The semifinals in the tournament. 76 Reds against 1944 Orioles and 1910 Athletics against the 39 Yankees. Very familiar with that 76 Red team, of course. Well, I guess I'll pull for them, Blaine. Don't know that much about the older ones. Bottom of the fifth in a 1-1 tie. Echeverria, Barber, and Aparicio. Here's Andy now, 0 for 1. Wilson into the windup. That's a 2-4 right-handed fly to right field, playable for Canigliaro, who puts it away. And with 1 out, Steve Barber will be the hitter, left-handed hitter. The pitch, 4-9 left-handed, and he loses in ball 4. Wilson, the unforgivable sin of walking the opposing pitcher, especially in a tie ball game. Barber works out the walk, and now Aparicio will come to bat. Aparicio 0 for 2 so far. Barber a modest lead at first. Wilson from the stretch. 6-5 right-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Aparicio down on strikes, and it's up to Russ Snyder. Snyder 1 for 2, doubled his last time up. The pitch from Wilson. 6-9 lefty, grounder to short X. That's going to be a tough chance for Joe Foy once again, a 588. And here's the rule on a 1. He's not going to get near that. That's a single, 2 stars, all the way to third goes Barber. And up steps Frank Robinson. First and third, 2 down. The Orioles have the right guy at the plate. And that's going to send Mike Ryan out to the mound. We're going to go over a few things here with Earl Wilson. Yeah, Cosmo, that Seinfeld episode has been discussed repeatedly on this channel. My favorite episode, of course. I also love the part where George tries to bribe the unemployment lady by promising her an autographed picture of, maybe it wasn't a picture, but promised her Keith Hernandez's autograph. Or no, he's going to bring him in. He's going to have her meet him, I think is how it goes. Runners take their lead. Wilson's pitch to Frank Robinson. That's going to be a 6-8 righty. He lifts it the other way to right. Drifting over to his right is Canigliaro, and that'll do it. And the Orioles strand a pair. No runs, a hit, 2 left. A lot of left on base in this one so far, and through 5, we're deadlocked at 1. And I'm going to get some more coffee. Not the greatest night's sleep, but it'll do. Yeah, I had a 9 a.m. doctor appointment, and I got to learn to quit doing that, because when I have a morning appointment, I tend to lay there worrying about what happens if I miss the alarm or don't wake up or something. So I overthink it and just end up talking myself out of a couple hours of sleep. And there's Colin entering his predictions into the World Series tournament pool. Top of the order for Boston as we move to the 6th inning. Foy will start it off. He's 1 for 2. Barber gets his sign. Here's the pitch now on a 4-4 right-handed fly to center. Shallow fly ball. On comes Snyder in a hurry. He's there and makes the catch for the out. The batter will be Jim Gosker. Gosker 0 for 2 today. Barber's pitch is a 3-7, called strike 3. That's strikeout number 3 now for Barber. With 2 outs and nobody on, Yaz steps to the plate, 0 for 2. Barber into the windup. 3-8 left-handed. It's a grounder down to first. Powell has it. He feeds Barber covering, and that'll do it. 1-2-3 6th for Barber. Pitchers duel here today in Baltimore, 1-1. We've had a lot of tight games lately. Not complaining, that's for sure. Keeps it interesting. Brooks Robinson, Boog Powell, Kurt Blefary due up here in the bottom of the 6th. Wilson into the windup. That's going to be a 6-4 righty. Fly to center field X. Tough chance for Gosker. Gosker a 3-3, ranging to his left. Here's the play on a 13. Nice running catch by Gosker. Takes a possible base hit away from Brooks. 8X, 1 down. Lehere's the Boog, 0 for 2 today. Wilson gets the sign. On a, we got a leaner. That's going to be a re-roll as Powell fouls it straight back. Wilson getting a new ball. Ready to go now. Here's his next pitch to the Boog. That's going to be a 2-3 right-handed. Grounder down to second, fielded by Smith. Flips it over to Scott, and there's 2 away. That'll bring up Blefary. Struck out and walked. Wilson into the windup now. The pitch is a 3-7 right-handed. Liner to second, single to 2. And it's caught by Smith. The 1-2-3 go the Orioles in the bottom of the inning. We're through 6 now in a 1-1 tie. Creeping up very quickly on Mookie time. I don't see him in the tower today. First endurance inning for Barber. Canigliaro, Scott, and Thomas due up. Tony Canigliaro homered in the 2nd, flew to center in the 4th. Barber gets the sign from Echeverria now, and here's the pitch on a 1-11 lefty, called strike 3. Home plate umpire rings him up. Strikeout number 4 for Barber, and here's George Scott. Scott singled and struck out. Barber with the windup on the pitch. It's a 4-2 right-handed. Grounder down to third. Brooks Robinson backhand fires to Powell, 2 down. Here's Thomas now. Barber with the pitch. That's going to be a 5-4 right-handed. That's catcher's card. That's Echeverrin. Andy, a good catcher. 2E6. The roll on a 2. It's a pop out to Echeverrin, and that'll end the inning. 1, 2, 3. Go the Red Sox in the 7th, and we stretch in a 1-1 nail biter here. Good game today. Good game back after a day off. Oh yeah, double, single, yes. Thank you, Mike. Missed that one. I think it was actually Robinson that got it, because the infield was in. No? Well, I'll give it to him for now. The game will figure that out when I go to enter it. Yeah, I missed awarding the RBI on that play. So you had first and third. I'm assuming they were in for Robinson. I think Robinson actually knocked it in, but I could be wrong. And then the 4-3-C moved Robinson from second to third. Yeah, I'm almost certain that's what happened. Again, that'll get corrected when I enter it. I'm not going to go back and review that now. But I'm pretty sure that Brooks got the RBI. Anyway, it's a 1-1 ball game, and now we're going to see if we can find Mookie. '76 Reds certainly had the lineup. Of course, they'll rely heavily on their bullpen management. A solid but unspectacular starting rotation, but they had a very deep bullpen. Oh, I can see his tail. Can you see it? He's in the window. Here you go. Hot enough for you there, Mook? Oh man, he's warm. He likes it. The curtains are drawn for a reason, right? This is the time of the day when the sun hits this side of the building. And this bedroom in particular, it gets pretty warm. I wouldn't have it any other way, though, because I'm not in here until at night. So the other side, where I am all day, stays pretty cool. It only gets the morning sun. There he's stretching. What attracted you to the window, Mook? Isn't it hot there? Yeah, he's very warm to the touch. Mook Unfazed says, "Oh hell, it's only 95 out there." My guess is something out there attracted his attention. A dog walking by, perhaps. Really anything walking by would do it. A person, another cat. Well, there was a cat meeting by the office the other day. There was 3 of them out there. One of them on a harness and leash, the other 2 roaming. They were having some kind of a cat conversation. Well, let's line this up again. That's pretty good. You know, since we're breaking anyway, bear with me a minute. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the bottom of that 4th and make sure we've got it right. Okay, 1st and 3rd, Brooks up. We're doing a little instant replay here. And yes, I could wait to let the computer figure it out, but we might as well let you guys know what it is. I think I was trying to decide whether to be in or back at this point. Frank Robinson was held on, infield back. And we had a 6-10, grounder to short X. Sorry, short X to Foy, ground ball C. It was Brooks Robinson that drove in the run. Okay, and there you have it. Yeah, cats' body temperatures run about 10 degrees hotter than ours. Okay, back to this one. After a prolonged 7th inning stretch, bottom 3rd of the order for the Orioles. Earl Wilson in his first endurance inning. Davey Johnson will start things off, 0 for 1 with a walk. Wilson into the windup. It's going to be a 4-10 right-handed. Shallow fly to center, high pop fly. Yastrzemski waiting on it and makes the catch. We've got to ask ourselves what we're going to do with Barber here. His spot on deck as Echeverren stands in. Wilson into the windup. That's a 4-5 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Backing up is Yastrzemski at the track, at the wall, off the wall for extra bases. Echeverren holds at second with a stand-up double. I'm going to give a minute to get some opinions from you guys. But with a runner in scoring position and 1 out in a tie game, I'm leaning to pinch hit for Barber right here. They need to pick up that run. Orioles with an excellent bullpen too. Let's see if anybody here has any opinions on this. Franklin wants to keep him in. That actually surprises me. Larry says, got a pinch hit. So we're divided. Doesn't help me much. So Frank says pinch hit. So including my vote, that's overwhelming 3-1 to pinch hit. Make that 6-1 to pinch hit. Yeah, I was going to do it. Most likely going to do it anyway, but thank you guys for helping me out there. As always, love to get you involved in the decisions. Clearly a pinch hitting spot in my mind. With the right-handers coming up, Mo Drabowski will throw in the pen. We can close the book on Barber. Seven innings for Barber, which is his endurance number, by the way. 3, 4, just 4 hits today. The lone run on the homer to Conigliaro. 2 walks. And 4? Yep, 4 strikeouts. With Echeverria in scoring position and 1 out. One thing they don't have is a deep bench. The batter is going to be Woody Held. Woody Held, the right-handed batter, on the year 217 in 23 at-bats, 1 RBI. Action in the Boston pen as well. Lee Stang and Dan Osinski both throwing. Wilson gets the sign from Ryan. Here's the pitch to Held. It's going to be a 1-9 right-handed. Called strike 3. Home plate umpire rings him up. Held is retired. And it'll be up to Aparicio, 0 for 3 today. Echeverria takes his lead now. Here's the windup and the pitch. It is a 3-9 right-handed grounder, second base. Smith to his left, scoops it up, flips it to Scott. And we're going to the 8th, still tied at 1. No runs a hit, 1 left for the Orioles. We'll have a new pitcher as we go to the 8th inning. That will be the right-hander, Mo Drabowski. Stang sits down. Osinski is joined by Ken Sanders now in the pen. Sanders throwing lightly. 1-1 pitcher's duel here. Tension mounts as we move to the 8th inning. Smith, Ryan, and then the same predicament for Boston, the pitcher's spot. Slightly different situation as Wilson can handle the bat. Smith 1 for 2. Drabowski gets the sign. The pitch is a 4-3 right-handed grounder down to third. Brooks Robinson has it. Throws it over to Powell, 1 down. Here's the catcher now, Mike Ryan. Drabowski's pitch on a 6-4 righty. Another grounder to third. Third base X this time. The Gold Glover 1E13. Here's the play on the 10. It's the E range. The 8 on the 13. He's going to make that. And he does. Well, Boston may be well advised to try to hitting it to a different ball player. And with 2 down, they're going to let Wilson swing. He's a 7 with end power. It's a 1-9. Struck him out. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox. Had there been a runner on, probably would have hit there. With 2 outs and nobody on, Wilson's got a chance to hit one out, so why not? Second endurance inning for Earl. Snyder, Frank Robinson, and Brooks due up. Snyder 2 for 3 today. 2 of the 4 Baltimore hits. In fact, the Red Sox have just 4 hits. Wilson into the windup now. The pitch to Snyder on a 6-5 left-handed grounder to second base. Smith has it, throws him out, 1 down. Here's Frank Robinson, 1 for 3. Wilson gets the sign. The windup and the pitch is a 110 right hand. It's a high fly ball to deep left. Yastrzemski backing up on the track pulls it in. So Robinson gave it a ride. Died on the warning track. 2 down, nobody on. Brooks Robinson to bat. 0 for 3 knocked in the game's only run. Wilson with the pitch. That's going to be a 1-6 right-handed. Liner to short, single to 10. And that will be caught by Joe Foy at shortstop. 1, 2, 3 go the Orioles. We go to the 9th in a 1-1 tie. One thing that strikes me, at least from memory, I can't remember a single instance, and Foy's been playing shortstop for several games now. I can't think of a single instance where that has burned the Red Sox. Oh, I'm not saying he hasn't flubbed an X chart, but not in a spot that's really hurt them. And Baltimore may be looking for a different pitcher. Let me check this here. You've got Foy, but then you've got the 2 lefties. And you've got Stu Miller with a ton of usage. They're going to make a pitching change here for the 9th inning. And they're going to bring in Stu Miller. Grabowski 1 inning. Struck out 1. Could have, of course, let Grabowski pitch to Foy and then made the change, but prefer to let Miller get a fresh inning. That's really unlike me, isn't it, Kurt? Yeah, I can't explain it. Perhaps this isn't really me today. Perhaps it's an imposter. Anyway, what's done is done. Miller. Third Baltimore pitcher, Foy to start it off. Miller into the windup. 5-4 right-handed. It's a grounder to third X. That's Brooks again. 1E13. Here's the play on a 12. It's a 6 on an E13. Excellent play by Brooks Robinson. 1 away. So Robinson handling 3 of the last 4 plays. Point taken, Kurt Miller. I tell you what, that's not like me at all. All I can say is I'm human. At this, tomorrow might have left him. Yesterday might have left him. Today I was trying to get the run. Here's Gosker, 0 for 3. Miller into the windup. That's going to be a 5-2 left-handed. Grounder to second base, X. Tough chance for Johnson at 225. Johnson to his left. Here's the play on a 9. That's going to be the error range. It's a 4 on a 25. And his throw pulls Powell off the bag. That's going to be an error on Davy Johnson. Potential go-ahead run at first base. +2 battery, 15 for Gosker. Not a star stealer, but a very good chance of getting the lead. He'll have to be held on at 13. Carl Yastrzemski steps to the plate. Yaz 0 for 3 today. Miller gets the sign. The pitch from the stretch. 4-7 left-handed. Yaz drops one into left field in front of Blefary. Gosker could go to third. 14 minus 212. Blefary is 0. No thank you. They'll hold him up. Red Sox threatening in the top of the 9th. First and second, 1 away. And here's Tony Conigliaro. George Scott on deck. Miller getting the sign. The pitch to Tony. 5-8 right-handed. Grounder to second, X. That could be 2. 225. Johnson a chance to make up for his error. On the 6, he's got it. Flips it to Aparicio for 1. On to first. Double play. 4-6-3-X. Side retired. No runs, a hit, 1 left. There was an error. And we're going to the bottom of the 9th, still 1-1. The Red Sox with a run in the second on the Conigliaro home run. The Orioles parlayed Russ Snyder's leadoff double into the tying run in the 4th, and we've been scoreless ever since. Wilson's still out there. Third endurance inning for Earl Wilson. Powell, Blefary, and Johnson due up in a tie game here. Thank you, Larry. Yes, indeed. The 4th double play. Oh, his defense was magnificent. Powell 0 for 3 today. Powell could end this with 1 swing. Wilson gets the sign from Ryan. Here's the windup and the pitch to Boog Powell. It's a 4-7 left-handed high fly ball to center. Backing up is Gosker. Double to 6. Gosker makes a fine running catch. Oh my goodness. That was a big play. 1 down, here's Blefary. 0 for 2 with a walk now. Wilson with the windup and the pitch. That's going to be a 1-7 right-handed. Called strike 3. It's a tweener. And Blefary is rung up. Second strikeout of the day for Blefary. Davy Johnson, the last chance, or we go to extras. Wilson's pitch. 3-8 righty. He lifts it to center field. Routine for Gosker, and we're going to extra innings. We played 9 to a tie, 1-1. I'm going to refresh here. I'm just lagging. Lagging way behind here today. Scott, Thomas, and Smith. Stu Miller in his second inning. He's rated 3 for relief endurance. This will be his last inning, however, as he's due to bat second in the bottom of the inning. Scott, 1 for 3, leads it off. Miller into the windup. That's going to be a 3-10 right hand. That's a high fly ball driven to left. Blefary headed back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Home run, George Scott. The Boston playing long ball today. Their second home run of the game for George Scott. That's number 13. That puts him among the league leaders, and it makes the score 2-1 Red Sox. Here's Thomas now. Miller's pitch. That's going to be a 4-5 right-handed. That's driven high and deep to left field. Again goes Blefary back at the track, at the wall, and he makes the catch at the wall. 4-5, homer to 7. And he rolls to 13. Here's Smith, the second baseman now, 1 for 3. The pitch from Miller is a 3-6 right-hander. He pops him up on the left side. That'll be Aparicio making the catch, and there's 2 away. Wholesale defensive changes coming for Boston. Mike Ryan standing in. The pitch on a 3-7 righty. Fly to center. Snyder barely has to move, and that'll do it. But the home run by Scott gives the Red Sox the lead. Let's look at Thomas here. We want to get Foy off of short. So Foy's going to go to third base. Thomas will go to center field. That means Gosker will come out and we need a shortstop. That's going to be Petrocelli. Petrocelli pinch hit in this game in real life, and in our game he's going to come in as a defensive replacement. .238, I believe. That's correct. Earl Wilson somehow still standing as he comes out to pitch the bottom of the 10th. Boston now gets the stopper up. That's Don McMahon, just in case. Echebarren, a pinch hitter, and Aparicio. Earl Wilson really has the eyes of the Detroit scouts in the stands in this game. Echebarren doubled his last time up, 1 for 3. Wilson gets the sign from Ryan. On a 2-6 right-handed fly to left field, playable for Yastrzemski. He's there, and there's 1 down. Now we'll have a pinch hitter for Miller, who worked 2 innings. Really only one good choice. That's going to be Paul Blair. So Blair grabs the bat. He's coming out of the dugout. Let's check his numbers. On the year, Blair hitting .269, 1 home run only, but 27 RBIs. Wilson gets the sign. The pitch to Blair is a 6'4" right-handed fly to center X. That's Thomas now in center, a 2E11. Thomas ranging to his left. Here it is on a 4, and he makes a diving catch in center, robbing Blair of extra bases. A play, by the way, that Gosker would not have made. What a catch by Thomas. That's going to go as a web jam, a game-saving catch perhaps. The Orioles still have 1 out. And the batter, Aparicio. Aparicio 0 for 4. Wilson, very deliberate now. Gets the sign from Mike Ryan. Now the windup. Here's the pitch to Aparicio. It's a 2-9 right-handed. That's banged into left center. That could go to the wall. Triple to 7. Aparicio digging for third, and he is in there, and the tying run is 90 feet away. Oh my goodness. Man, I hope everybody's taking their heart medicine today. Here's Snyder, Frank Robinson on deck. You get the feeling this could be Wilson's last hitter. If he can't get Russ Snyder. Snyder 2 for 4. Love it, Kurt Miller. Blair kicks the dirt, running to second. Meeting on the mound, of course. Okay, we're ready to go. Tying run at third, 2 down. Boston leads at 2-1. Russ Snyder standing at the plate. Wilson staring in. The pitch is a 1-4 right-handed. Grounder back to Wilson. He's got it. Takes a couple steps to first and tosses him out, and that's the ball game. Boston wins it 2-1 in 10 innings. Totals coming up. Earl Wilson goes the distance. A 10-inning complete game. With the win, improves to 6-3 on the season. Stu Miller takes the loss. His record now even at 2-2. Well-pitched game on both sides. The key to the game, I would say, really is the 4 double plays turned by Baltimore. Of course, they lost, so I suppose that isn't true. That definitely potentially kept more runs off of the board. Wilson's totals here. Only 5 hits, 1 run against the mighty Baltimore lineup. It's got to make him the player of the game, doesn't it? He walked 3. Didn't strike out that many. 4. Player of the game has to be Wilson, with a nod to George Scott with the game-winning home run. Totals on the game. The Red Sox win it with 2 runs on only 6 hits. No errors. Orioles 1 run on just 5 hits and 1 error. One more game between these two. Boston's won the first 2 now. I want to thank everybody for being here with me today. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. I do appreciate it. A dice biter. I like that. Let's see what we got on tap for tomorrow. Kansas City at California. That'll be Raleigh Sheldon against Marcelino Lopez. 1:30/4:30. Thursday up in the air, but I'll be here tomorrow. And with that, I'm going to grab a late lunch. I'm going to hightail it out of here. Thanks one last time to everybody for watching and supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. Have a great evening, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.